Open world games are pretty much a standard these days. It's no longer a selling point, as it's just on everything. But once upon a time, if a game offered open world, it was a must-have. The earliest, most popular open world game I can think of is Driver for the PlayStation 1. A small world, but still open. Most would agree that Grand Theft Auto 3 started it all, which is technically true, as that game was a massive success and so many game companies followed in Rockstar's footsteps. The first open world game actually dates all the way back to 1970, a game called Jet Rocket by Sega. In this list, I will talk about some of the best open world games out there. This isn't a list in any order, and this isn't a final list. I did not forget your favorite open world game, maybe next time. And with that being said, this is some of the best open world games of all time. The first game I want to talk about is Far Cry 3. This title blew me away with its immersive storytelling and massive open world that was never boring to explore. Far Cry 3 was released in 2012 and is a first-person shooter developed by Ubisoft. You can explore the island with motorcycles, dune buggies, all-terrain vehicles, cargo trucks, jet skis, boats, and even hang gliders. You can discover mini settlements where you will uncover new weapons and upgrades. The only downside to this game is the radio towers. You have to climb up them over and over again to reveal more of the map, much the same as Assassin's Creed games. It gets pretty repetitive. There is even a 4-player co-op mode, but it's not the main game, or even open world really, but still fun to play with friends. The next game is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Sure, I could have picked Grand Theft Auto 4, which is my personal favorite, but I put it to a vote and San Andreas won. I still love this game though. It's so impressive how they were able to get this to play on the PlayStation 2. It's so much bigger than the previous two titles. Released in 2004 to the PlayStation 2 and later ported to the original Xbox, San Andreas was considered to be the greatest game ever made at the time. There is so much to do besides the main story in this game, and in fact was one of the first open world games to add so much stuff that some would say it was a little bit too much stuff. I won't be diving deep into all the activities you can do, but there's plenty of videos out there already. The map is massive in this game, and the awesome story of the main game will have you traverse all over the world to explore rich and poor territories of San Andreas. My next game is indeed an Elder Scrolls game, and it was hard to pick one. At first I wanted Morrowind because it was so mind-blowing for the time, but then I thought Oblivion because it brought the franchise to the mainstream media. But ultimately I decided upon Skyrim, and here's why. The world map is just so breathtaking to look at, and at times you will get lost in the beauty. The rivers and snowy mountains are fantastic looking, and hiking your way from city to city is a sight to see. The game was released in November 2011 for the PlayStation 3, 360, and PC to critical acclaim. Sadly, the game still uses the creation engine, which was first used with Fallout 3, but this also doesn't really hinder the game, as so many fans know how to code for the creation engine so well that they have made the game a million times better with all the incredible, realistic mod enhancements that they made. This is one of those games that just looks like a work of art. It really is beautiful. Can't make an open world list without talking about The Witcher 3. Developed by CD Projekt Red, which I do believe will bounce back and amaze us all in their next game. Witcher 3 is one massive game, and I mean massive. If you wanted to 100% this game, you better believe it will take up to 200 hours. The story alone is 70 hours long, which is crazy. I used to pay $60 for an 8-hour story game. Shoot, I paid $50 for 3 hours on Onimusha for the PlayStation 2. The world of the continent is around 52 square miles long, but just because a map is big in a game, it doesn't make it good. Some large maps can be huge and empty, but Witcher 3 is huge and gorgeous. Also, so much to do and see. The world is full of life. If you haven't played this game, you need to play it. It's an RPG full of weapons, stories, characters, creatures. Basically, everything around you is just awesome. That's all I gotta say. For the last game on the list, I picked Red Dead Redemption 2. Released in 2018, and it's a giant leap from the previous game. Not story-wise, as I prefer the story of the first title. The world is just so much better looking. That is mainly due to the better hardware, but man, it really looks great. I generally hate dead, desert-based worlds, levels, or whole games, but this just looks really great. Traversing sandy, dirt-covered, cactus-filled lands can get boring sometimes, but I don't mind it with this one, mainly because there's so much life in this game, from plants, grass, trees, wildlife, people, towns, bandits. It's crazy how much there is to see. This game also offers fishing, and I do love a good fishing minigame within a game. This one's good too, so, you know, look at that big ass fish. I'm curious if this game will be remade and remade again for the next 9 years before Red Dead 3 comes out. Anyway, this game is awesome, so I do recommend you play it. Well, that's it for this list. I know that there are so many more games that I need to talk about that are open world, but of course, that's all I have time for today, so if you could please leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video, that'd be awesome. I'm Jurassic Ninja, and take it easy.